So AT&T was the most quiet carrier before the game and during the game and at the end of the game. They had no real social media presence on their platforms. We saw no speed tests. Their marketing was so-so. They weren't really loud. They didn't really invest big. But they were the first carrier to release their detailed reporting of how they performed during the game and how much usage the network endured before the game and during the game. So AT&T customers set new data usage record at the big game. So before I go into detail with this, I just want to let you guys know Verizon hasn't released their full detailed report yet, but I've already been made aware 60% of attendees at the Super Bowl had Verizon, which is a lot. Huge amount of people were on the Verizon network. So let's look into this data. Touchdown, AT&T customers score a new record at the big game. AT&T customers took advantage of massive system deployments for near seamless connectivity at the Super Bowl. So how much did they use? So before the game until the end of the game, AT&T customers used 13 terabytes of data usage, and more than 3 terabytes of that usage came from millimeter wave. Now, more than, it could mean 5, it could mean 6. We don't know. They didn't give us a specific number, but they are referencing more than 3 terabytes came from 5G plus. That could have been C-band and that could have been millimeter wave. I know that Los Angeles was not one of the launch cities when they launched the C-band, but they could have very well added it onto. This was also a new detail that we learned. 260 C-RAN nodes they deployed at the Super Bowl. So that's 260 small cells that received 5G plus. Again, that could be a mix of millimeter wave and C-band, or that could have all been millimeter wave. They weren't very specific. So this is the breakdown of how it took place, pregame, the tailgating, and then first quarter, second quarter, halftime, third quarter, fourth quarter. So the most of the data usage was pregame and first quarter, which is to be expected because more people are tailgating using their phones on the, in the tailgating area. So 6.6 terabytes. So a little more than half of the usage started before the game, which I'm fully in agreement with, because during the game, you should be watching the game, not on your phone. But that's just me. There's people that watch Netflix at the game for whatever reason. So then in the second quarter, 1.4 terabytes. At halftime, a little under a terabyte. Again, understandable. You should be watching the halftime show, not on your phone. I know there's some, uploading that happens around that time, which is fine. But most of the halftime show, if I paid for a ticket, I would want to watch it with my eyes. If not, I could have stayed at home and watched it on my TV. Third quarter, 1.1 terabytes. And then in the fourth quarter, 3 terabytes. So most of the usage throughout the game came in the first and the fourth quarter. So they were quiet in terms of advertising, marketing the network and social media. But again, the detailed report is out. So new record, 13 terabytes of data usage, approximately a 28% increase in data usage from 2020's game. So they increased the data usage by 28%, but they also increased the overall capacity by 10 times versus the game last year, so they were perfectly fine. 112,000 voice calls completed in and around the stadium. So there is, from what I was told, a casino in the entire strip mall about 0.1 miles away from that stadium. So those customers likely also made use of all of the enhanced capacity, the cell on wheels that were there at that time. So I also saw, so as you can see here, this included nearly 260 5G plus nodes. So they went big on small cells. So I also saw somewhere else that they averaged 169 megabits a second throughout the entire game. So that was their average. So AT&T, not a problem at all. And the fact that I was made aware that Verizon had 60% of attendees at the game. Verizon users used about 30 terabytes. AT&T 13 terabytes. So again, there weren't a lot of T-Mobile customers at the game. So T-Mobile likely had no problem or issues. There is a potential that T-Mobile did finish the fastest overall in terms of median averages because they had the lowest amount of usage likely. So they put 100 million or more than 100 million into the enhancements of the game, and they didn't have a lot of users. So of course, they would potentially, they haven't released anything yet, but they could be potentially the fastest carrier at this game. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Just wanted to present this to you guys that AT&T, although they were very quiet, looks like they had a good showing at the biggest stage in the Super Bowl. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel, follow the social media outlets for more updates and interactions. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. I will see you in the next one. Peace.